Alright, yo, what is up guys, and welcome back to another Ro-Ghoul video. Here we are back in my private server once again, and for this video we're not gonna be going to a public server because I'm gonna be doing a video that is quite educational, I guess. In this video I'm gonna be showing you guys the stat builds that I use here in Ro-Ghoul, the ones that I use for PvP, the ones that I use for farming Gakos Satu, and the ones that I use that on just normal days, I guess. Yeah, without further ado, this is just gonna be a quick video. I'm just gonna be showing you my stat builds that I use. It's only 3 stat builds actually. There's one for like normal days where, you know, just a random Ro-Ghoul day, I guess. Just me playing. It's not that aggressive and it's not that tanky. It's just a normal build. You can kill bosses on a decent amount of time. And yeah, I'm gonna show that build right now because that is my main build actually. Well, it's not my main build anymore because I'm using a different build most of the time now. So the build is gonna be the usual 100 physical. Always remember that your maximum physical is only 100 and your speed is only a maximum of 200. Always remember that, guys, and the rest you can put it on whatever Quinkey and durability. So for my normal build, where, you know, it can excel in a lot of things, you can even defeat Gakos Satu with this build. Of course, it's not gonna be better than the one that I used to beat Gakos Satu with, but it's still pretty good. So you're gonna have 2500 on durability, there you go, and you're gonna put 3200 the rest in Quinkey or Kagune, I guess. So this is the first stat build that I did here in Ro-Ghoul when I first reached max level. It's a really good stat build, and you know, you can farm bosses with it and you can PvP with people without dying too early from their combos because it's quite tanky, and of course it also does a decent amount of damage. And I can guarantee you guys you can beat bosses with this build because of course the durability is quite high and you have 3200 on your main stat. And I'm gonna show you guys right now what I mean by you can defeat bosses with this stats. I'm gonna use the IXA because, you know, I haven't been really using IXA that much. I bought it because it had a new revamp and, you know, I didn't even use it that much. That's why I'm gonna use it for this video because I'm really in love with the game Quinkey. Alright, so boom. As you can see, I didn't take a lot of damage from Kotaro Amon's combo because I am quite tanky and I also deal a decent amount of damage. That's why I call this, you know, the standard go-to normal build. So if you guys are looking for a stat build that is decent in farming and also decent for PvPs, then you guys better get these stats. If you don't have the redo focus game pass or you don't have any more resets and you want to change your stats, this is a stat build that I can recommend. And now moving on to the next stat build that I use, I call this one, you know, the Gakos Satu farming stats because this is what I mainly use to farm Gakos Satu. It's basically just the glass build where you're gonna put 1000 in durability and you're gonna put the rest in Quinkey. So of course, I'm still gonna put 100 in physical, the usual stuff, 200 in speed, and this is the difference. I'm gonna put 1000 in durability and the rest 4700 in the Quinkey. There you have it. And you guys might be wondering, how are you gonna farm Gakos Satu when you only have 1000 durability? There's actually a cheese technique that I do when you're fighting Gakos Satu where, you know, you won't get hit by their, you know, the random mobs that spawn, and I made a video about that one. You guys can just watch it. I'm gonna link it in the description down below. The best way to farm Gakos Satu. I gave their tips on how to farm Gakos Satu. You know, I hope it helps out. So I can't really show the, you know, how this stat build works right now because there's no Gakos Satu boss. But I'm gonna go get my Kajiri and maybe fight Eto, and I can show you how fast you can farm the bosses with this build. And I'm telling you guys, if you guys have this stat build, if you guys have this glass build stat that I use and you're farming Gakos Satu in only just around 15 seconds, you're gonna get over 25% if you're not dying, of course. That's why it's really good, and you can get a lot of Gyasaks really fast. You can, you know, server hop, you know, find Gakos Satus and of course farm. You're gonna get around 100M in like only 30 minutes of farming, or maybe even 200M. Alright, so let's kill Toko for now. Of course, if you guys are using the stat build, always remember to use your block because Of course, this stat build is gonna make you really squishy. It depends on your playstyle actually when you want to use the block. If you're a really aggressive player and you just wanna, keep farming the boss, then go ahead. Don't use block so you can kill the boss quickly. But, if you guys are not the best type of player in Ro-Ghoul, I recommend you guys utilize the block. Alright, so Eto Ishimura is already lower than half health, if you guys can see. And I think we can defeat her with just, this one. Boom. There you have it. That's how good the glass build is. Let's go back to the CCG place and I'm gonna show you guys the final stat build that I use, and which is the one that I mostly use for PvPs and the one that I mostly use nowadays. And I usually use this stat build paired with the Ginkui because I really love PvPing with Ginkui, and I'm not even sure when I'm gonna do another video about Ginkui because it's literally my favorite Quinque right now since last year actually, when I started using Ginkui, because it's really easy and it's really fun to use. But enough of that yapping about Ginkui. I'm gonna show you guys the one build, my favorite build actually, my favorite stat build. So of course the usual 100 physical, 200 speed, and for this one it's quite aggressive. It's more on the aggressive side because when I PvP here in Ro-Ghoul, I'm more on the aggressive playstyle, I guess. I'm not on the passive playstyle. It depends on who I'm fighting. If the player is really good, then of course I'm gonna, think about my moves. I'm gonna think about how I PvP with that person. But most of the time, I'm really aggressive. I just really like spamming my skills and stuff. So I'm only gonna put 2,000 in my durability, and the rest is in 3,700. That is the stat build that I mostly use nowadays here in Ro-Ghoul when it comes to farming, when it comes to PvP. So, if you guys want a better stat build than the normal stat build, the one that I showed earlier, the first stat build that I showed, if you guys are more on the aggressive side of Ro-Ghoul, then you guys can use this stat build. And I actually forgot where this stat build came from. I just saw it from like a YouTube video and they called it the toxic stat build. I kind of forgot already, but this is the stat build that they use, and it's the one that I use the most nowadays. So I'm just gonna showcase you guys. I don't know how am I gonna showcase this stat build because of course I don't want to do PvP right now. And Gakos Satu just spawned. I'm just gonna go find an NPC, maybe Nishiki. There we go, we got Nishiki. So yeah, I'm just gonna do one full combo and show you guys how this stat build works. It's more on the aggressive side when you're PvPing. Boom. I don't think I can fight Kotaro Amon using the Ginkui because of all the stuns and stuff. This is basically the stat build that I really love using right now. It's really good for PvP, especially if you're very aggressive. You won't die instantly, and of course you can also defeat your opponents more quicker than usual because of course you have an aggressive stat build. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know down below what are your stat builds because I'd be very curious. I'd be very glad to know what are your stat builds. If you guys have any tips and tricks when it comes to building your stats here in Ro-Ghoul, leave them down below. But for now, that's going to be it. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Stay healthy and peace out.